Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Ever feel like AI is just another buzzword that's supposed to make your life easier, but somehow it just adds more chaos? You're not alone. If AI isn't actually saving you time or helping you grow, it's just noise. That's where the ICABA AI Accelerator series comes in. This is not another theory-heavy webinar. It's 4 live, hands-on sessions where you'll actually build real systems and workflows you can use right away. We're talking templates, repeatable processes, and practical tools you'll walk away with after every session. So what are you actually going to do? You'll learn how to turn your expertise into an AI-powered advantage. Imagine building your own custom GPT that sounds like you, uploading your knowledge base, and generating posts, emails, or scripts in minutes. You'll see how to take one idea and turn it into multiple assets, all while keeping your unique voice. And you're not doing this alone. You'll be guided by expert leaders like Nilda Thomas, Abdul Muhammad, Grant McGaugh, Marcia Noreen Weldon, Stephanie Sylvester, and Angela Reed James. These are people who know how to make AI work for real businesses, and they're ready to show you exactly how it's done. The best part? You get to pick the session date that fits your schedule. Choose from February 24th, March 3rd, March 10th, or March 17th. Each session runs from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, so you can fit it in without rearranging your whole week. Ready to get started? You can register for a single session plus lab for $149, or go all in with the full series, 4 sessions and 4 labs, for just $399. Don't let AI be just another distraction. Pick your date and register now for the ICABA AI Accelerator series. This is your chance to actually build something that works for you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special session on the Follow the Brand. We're going to bring authority, not just efficiency, inside the ICABA AI Accelerator. And I want you to welcome everybody to this, because this program is designed not just to teach you AI, but to position you as an authentic, efficient, and undeniable authority in your industry. In just 4 weeks, you'll implement tools that reclaim 20 plus hours of your time, multiply your content output, and build scalable AI systems that sound like you, work like you, and move as fast as you. And you will hear directly from each of our four experts leading this sprint. So I'd like to bring up the master of the hour, Mr. Hutchinson himself, the brain thought leader of ICABA. So Jerome, would you like to kick us off, please?
Well, I'd love to, and I'm going to, if I can, share my screen and tell you just a little bit and show you a little bit about the ICABA World Network, which is the world's leading collaborative success ecosystem for Black professionals and entrepreneurs. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, today's world is all about relationships, relationships, relationships. In order to be able to move your career, move your business forward, the most important thing today is relationship capital. If you're not building that kind of equity in your network and in your ecosystem, then you're going to be standing still. The world is moving fast, and you got to move fast with it. Building relationships, cultivating, nurturing them into really productive, valuable ecosystem. And so today, as you just heard from one of our AI Accelerator group members, Grant McGaw, we're using AI to be more productive and to speed up and accelerate that process. And so we are very excited to make sure that we're able to host this group that we've created, the ICABA Accelerator group. And we want to deliver to you those opportunities for you to be able to enhance your skill set and to become, if you will, a leader in your industry, as Grant said. So I'm happy to be here. We're here to share and to have you a place to come to our ICABA community where you can not only learn from these pros, but you can actually connect, collaborate, and be part of a global community that they're already a part of, as well as folks from around the world. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you guys for all the great work that you're doing.
Well, thank you, Hutch, for bringing this to life for so many people. So let's talk about week one. What is week one all about? This is going to be about creating your new AI lifestyle. No theory, just practical wins that unlock your time from day one. So I would like to bring to the stage now Mr. Abdul Muhammad and also Neil Thomas. So Abdul, talk about week one with us, please.
Okay, so as you mentioned, Grant, week one is all about the AI lifestyle. Now, AI is everywhere right now, right? But let me ask you something honestly. Is it actually making your life easier? I ask myself that every single day. For me, it feels like every day there's more tools, there's more noise, there's more pressure for me to keep up. I mean, listening to things, podcasts that I can keep up, but that's a problem. Now, right away, I looked at it as this overwhelming conundrum for me, but AI isn't really failing us. We're just not being taught how to live, work with it well. And so that's what this first part is all about. I'm Abdul Muhammad, the president and chief growth officer of MDM Ventures, and we provide growth strategy and branding for fractional C-suite consulting for mindful leaders, executives, and community leaders. So I'm a socialpreneur that blends health and wellness and mindful leadership, empowering leaders with a business mindset so that the marketing is able to build a global culture of health and wealth. I help entrepreneurs, creators, and community leaders with neuro training, breathwork, and brain-based coaching that leverages AI and innovation as a force multiplier for content, community, and commerce. And so for me, when I look at what AI is and what it does, the problem is right now, most Americans are using AI backwards. They start with tools instead of clarity. They automate before deciding, and they stack platforms instead of designing workflows. And that's why people are feeling overwhelmed instead of empowered by the AI. Now, the real skill isn't knowing what AI can do, because there's plenty of YouTube videos and podcasts and pseudo experts out there that can tell you what AI can do. But the real skill that we like focusing on here is knowing when to use it, how to use it, and when not to, right? And so that's why we created a live 4-week sprint called Optimizing That AI Lifestyle. That's the focus. This isn't about a technical course. This is not about learning every single tool that's out there. And it definitely is not about moving faster just to move fast, right? I'm all about breathing in, letting out, and creating. And this is about integrating AI into your real life in a way that provides daily workflows and decision making and optimizes your productivity in a way that feels human, ethical, and also sustainable. And right now, let's be honest, most people aren't feeling that way with this AI overwhelm and noise. What makes a difference with what we do is we teach one core framework that changes everything. Now, I call it augment, decide, and act. And what that does is simply AI helps us augment our thinking, right? Our human intelligence. It allows us to expand on the options that are available for us and uncover patterns that our brains may not see, right? And so this allows us to take that information and organize ideas in a way that allow us to apply our judgment. And then we decide based on our human values, context, and lived experience, which is something that AI, quite frankly, can never replicate. So the only thing after you do is using AI to execute clearly and efficiently our human intelligence. And that's how we stay in control versus this whole fear that AI is going to somehow take over with this super intelligence. This soul intelligence that we've been blessed with, that we've been born with, that cannot ever be outsourced, is really what the focus is. How AI works for you and not the other way around. And so we believe that workflow simplicity beats tool stacking every single time. You don't need more apps, you just need clear systems. And so what participants will walk away from by the end of this sprint is that you'll have clear AI assisted workflows that you can actually use in your life, right? I call this lifestyle synthesis. This allows you to have a human intelligence as your decision framework that you can trust. Come on now, you guys know there's so much misinformation out there. You're watching videos that you can't even trust anymore. You need a framework that roots you in your human intelligence and the values that cannot be outsourced or machine learned. And this allows you to lessen the mental load, reduce the cortisol, and allow you to just breathe more freely. Now, we don't need more tools and technology. We need a responsible way to work with AI that aligns with our values. And that alignment is what's going to empower people. And that's what we aim for in our course. This is for professionals, leaders, creatives, and educators who want clarity and alignment, not chaos and more tools. This is for you. You want to feel confident using AI and not dependent on it? This is for you. This is for people who care about equity, ownership, and long-term impact, and not that get-rich-quick scheme and stuff. This is not about people looking for shortcuts or hacks and all of that hype. This is real talk now. That human connection that we're building, and we're building skill, not chasing trends. And so I like to just invite all of you all, if you're ready to stop reaching to HI or reacting to AI, right? And start to design how this fits into your life in a seamless way, whether it's work or life. I'd love to invite you to our sprint where we'll learn together, build together, and leave with systems that actually last. So join us for optimizing the AI lifestyle, and let's make AI make sense for you. AI should support your thinking, not replace it. And clarity and alignment is the real competitive advantage. The more tools don't create better systems. Better thinking and human-led intelligence, soul intelligence, is what makes that connection. AI doesn't need to be impressive. It just needs to be useful, right? Equity in AI starts with access to understanding. And that's what we take care of here. Our focus at the iCABA Accelerator is automation without intention is just faster chaos. And no one needs more chaos, right? Again, automation, all of this, bots and everything without intention, right? Is just faster chaos. And so we teach AI in a human language. We break it down. This is AI for real life, not just tech demos. We focus on judgment, not tools. We focus on human intelligence and alignment, human-centered, practical, responsible AI use, designed for how people actually work, not how a machine is telling you how to work and how to live, right? Everybody bring their human intelligence to it and leverage the technology to scale. And so most people don't need more AI tools. They just need better workflows.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abdul. And you got a partner in crime there. And I shouldn't even call it crime, because that right there was very, very useful. Nilda, tell us what we're going to be doing in week one.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nilda Thomas. And Have you ever noticed that most people are using AI, but very few actually are working well with it? And that's what I'm addressing in my upcoming session, Clear, your year AI empowered planning without the overwhelm. This isn't a tools demo. It's about how AI fits in your real life, your daily workflows, your productivity, and the decisions you're making every day as a professional or a business owner. In this session, I'm going to walk you through 10 core skills to define the AI-ready professional. Skills like judgment, strategic planning, problem framing, workflow integration, and others. It's all about knowing how you think to decide and lead with AI. And then we go into our hands-on session. And it's a guided workshop where I use my CLEAR framework to help participants clarify what actually matters, leveraging AI as a thinking partner, evaluating priorities, aligning actions to reality, and a roadmap that you'll have in the next 90 days. People walk away with clarity, focus, and plan that they can actually execute without feeling overwhelmed. Additionally, I'll be sharing a few AI tools that you can use, like role-based and industry prompt generators, keeping you and also to help you keep organized, and other tools as well. Again, I'm Nilda Thomas. I'm a certified AI consultant and chief AI officer at Business AI Consulting, a company that I own. And I'm also the creator of the AI Workforce Pro. And we provide and help businesses integrate AI into their operations through role-based and industry training, workflows. And then we begin with an AI assessment so we can understand where your gaps are. And then we take you through your results and help you create an AI strategy and AI policy, along with implementing where to integrate AI into your operations before we implement. The live session is complimentary, it's practical, and it's designed for real people with real workloads. And if you want to stop experimenting with AI and start using it intentionally, this session is for you. So you can register now. And I hope to see you there. Back to you, Grant.
All right, that is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You can see that week one is going to set the foundation for what we are building for the long run, not the short run. I'm going to bring up Angela Reed James. She also was working with us, and she's actually one of the brain leaders, I would say, in what we're building, and talk about week two.
Thank you, Grant. And before we jump in, I just want to take this time to thank you so much for generously hosting us and the team, for your time, for your thought, and your leadership as we continue to bring this work to the public. Your guidance has really been invaluable as we shape this first ICABA AI Accelerator Sprint. And we truly appreciate you and your partnership. We are so excited about this, about what this sprint is going to bring. The ICABA Accelerators is different, is simple. We don't just talk about AI, we activate it, we implement it, we empower people with it. Our Accelerators Edge is grounded in 5 separate pillars. We apply what others only talk about. We teach AI in human language. You heard Abdul talk about that. We lead with responsibility, and you'll see that as we go through our other sprint series. We build real capability, not hype. And we leverage the collective power of practitioners. This group of professionals, of builders, of innovators, master users, that's who we are in the ICABA AI Accelerator Group. And that's the expertise and the knowledge that we're bringing to you. And we use these tools and this knowledge every day in what we do, and we're bringing it to you. So Grant, session 2 is titled Your Brand, Your Voice, and Your GPT. And a lot of people are using AI, but not many people feel like it really represents them. Why is personalization such a game changer when it comes to productivity and trust in AI?
That is so important. I can't wait for people to jump in to week 2 because it's super important. You have, if you're just utilizing an LLM, large language model, basically you're using it in its generic state, meaning it does not know who you are. It doesn't know your past, your present, your future. You haven't given it any information in order to have a more detailed response. So it is your job, if you want it to be an assistant for you, You've got to give it enough detail. And we're going to talk about this. And not only in the AI world, but in your personal life, right? You've got to be able to personalize what you're doing to differentiate yourself in the workplace that you're looking to influence. You've got to bring your vision to life. And that is what I'm talking about. How do we bring our AI to life to work for us, by us? Put it like that. So we're not getting a generic response whatsoever. So I'm going to teach you how to brand yourself, right? And utilize your AI as a platform in which you can make that vision very visible to others. And let me ask you this. I'll ask this to my audience. How many of you are tired of trying to stand out online only to sound like every other business coach, consultant, or executive on LinkedIn? And the truth is, most AI trainings will teach you how to use prompts, but they don't teach AI to understand you. And that is what this week's session is all about.
Thank you so much. And you mentioned personalizing it. How can you expect people to save time and money when you're talking about training your AI dragon?
Oh my God, that is a great question, because that is how you're going to save the time. If you take the time up front to build out your model yourself, feed it what it wants. It wants data. Give it your personalized data so it doesn't have to search it out like online. If it's just using web traffic, if you're not very searchable online, it's not going to give you a very customized response. But if you begin to fill it with your PDFs, your PowerPoints, everything that's about you and what you are about, your resume, everything that says, hey, this is who I am, and I want you to be my assistant for me to help me achieve this particular goal. Now you're playing with fire. Now you have someone who knows who you are and where you want to go, and they can assist you in getting there. Remember, the AI is pulling from a world database, right? But now it can then take that world database and help you personalize your particular goal and workspace and workflows that you're utilizing it for. And I'm going to teach you how to do this step by step. We have a 60-minute session on Tuesday, right? That'll be the first session. And I'm going to give you the theory behind all of this. I'm going to show you some practical skill sets, some strategies, some tactics. Then on Thursday, we have a 90-minute session where we're actually going to get deep into it. We're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to get into this. And you are going to build out your customized and personalized GPT. If you're using ChatGPT, you could be using Claude, my personal favorite. I love Claude. But you can have other LLMs that you're using, but you've got to know how to customize and personalize it so it becomes the tool that you need to succeed and to do things quicker, better, faster.
Thank you so much, Grant. Really appreciate that. After Grant's fantastic session, and he mentioned another tool besides ChatGPT, we're going to have Charles Smart, who's going to be showing us what's out there beyond ChatGPT. And this is where participants will really be able to begin to see the full landscape of what AI can actually do. A lot of people are kind of stuck with ChatGPT, and look, it's a great tool. It's what I started off learning how to do. And Chat actually told me, mine is named Manixa, she actually told me, you have now exceeded your usage. You need to find another tool. So most people stop at one tool and assume that that's the limit that they can go. But this session expands the mindset. That he's going to explore AI platforms, the tool use cases that are beyond ChatGPT, helping attendees understand where different tools can shine, how they can be used intentionally, and what's possible when you move beyond a single interface. And speaking about that mindset, we're going to briefly bring Abdul back to talk about some of the other things that we can do when we look beyond ChatGPT.
Thank you, Angela. And when you really look at, and I love some of the things that Grant was saying, where it's how you leverage the GPT in order to be there for you, your assistant. And like, how many of us are only living life for work? That's a dismal way of being, right? Like, there's so many different things out there. So, for example, I'm an advocate of a culture of health and wealth. And what that means is that I prioritize my wellness over making money, understanding that there is no money if you don't have this inner wealth. So, one of the ways, instead of just using ChatGPT, AI, you can personalize it to align with your wellness goals, for example, right? And so when you look at how and who you are as a human being, how can GPTs and how can AI be a force multiplier for your character, right? All the world's a stage. And what AI does for us is it allows us to really tap into who we are and get it out there in ways that are far beyond the workplace. This becomes lifestyle synthesis. As an artist and as a creator, I make music, right? Now, I don't use ChatGPT to make my music, right? ChatGPT is great, but all of these LLMs, as we've been talking about, are large language models that have specific use cases. Now, the truth is they all are catching up, right? So I'm just going to mention a couple. We talked about ChatGPT, and I'm going to pick on Claude because we know that that's a favorite. And then, of course, you can't go anywhere without hearing about, Google's GPT, right? Gemini. And so I'll just start with those three. And then, of course, Perplexity, we like, getting into those things, but they all have different use cases. So it's all about understanding, just like life is. First, you got to tap into who you are. It's not about the GPT. Now, who you are and getting clear on that determines what GPT out there or what AI tools you should use. And so if you're someone that's more creative, for example, that cares a little bit more about leveraging different modalities, video plus audio plus music, the GPT that might be best for you might be Gemini, right? Because it's multimodal, and it has a little bit more advantage over ChatGPT with that. But if you don't want a lot of hallucinations, and if you want a GPT that actually listens to you and pays attention, it doesn't just make stuff up, Gemini is great because it's awesome. It can do all these different multimodal inputs and then pull it all out. But it's like a teenage kid doesn't want to listen to you. You say, hey, search the web and verify that. And it goes, well, yeah, right. We don't need to search the web. We just moving, right? Whereas ChatGPT, right? If you want to have someone that's a little bit more obedient because it's the information that you need, you got to understand that. You better stick with ChatGPT because it pays attention. It's a little bit more obedient to you. And then filter out information, leveraging Notebook LM, for example. It allows you to isolate and contain the information inside that GPT so that there's no chance that it's pulling in something outside of that container that you put in, right? And so how you live your life has a lot to do with the GPTs that you use, what your lifestyle is.
Yeah. And let me say this. This session is not about chasing the next shiny tool. It's not about overwhelming you with options. It's really about capability awareness, knowing what exists, when to use it, and how to choose the tools that support your productivity. At the end of this session, you'll be able to understand the broader AI ecosystem, recognize which tools align with the different needs and workflows you have, and feel more confident navigating beyond one platform. That's really what it's about. It's about opening doors to smarter choices. Now we're going to move on to session 4. That's Stephanie and Marcia. And Stephanie, why don't you tell us about this data and governance, the sexiest part of AI everyone ignores until it's too late.
So as you're doing AI and you're prompting and you're figuring out which LLM to use, none of that is impactful if you don't have a handle on your data. And I'm not talking about the data that the AI produces. I'm talking about the data that the AI uses to produce the responses. So if you don't have clean data, if your data is not set up correctly, what will happen is that the AI is going to take that and it's going to magnify the problems with your data. So we're going to talk about data governance, data cleanliness, where the data lives, who owns the data. It's important to talk about IP. So you don't want to be using data from somebody else that's violating IP and copyright laws. Um, it's important to know where the data lives because you want to make sure that the data is clean. And people go, Stephanie, like, what are you talking about with this clean data? And we're going to go into details about what clean data is, what dirty data is. And there is a difference. I spent over 30 years doing IT quality. And one of the biggest things I had to do was creating data to do testing. And I've seen where when you have dirty data, you get incorrect responses, and that only with clean, properly defined data. And then data has to live somewhere. You don't want it commingling with things that it shouldn't commingle in with. So putting a fence around that data. All of that's important. And, without having a great data strategy, you can't build out your AI solutions because the AI agents need data in order to do their jobs well.
And Stephanie, when you're talking about data, we're also talking about that data being better to represent our voice and what we have to say versus all of the other voices that have created biases within the AI programming system. Is that a correct statement?
Absolutely. Again, right, what LLMs did was just comb the internet with everything that they could get their hands on. And so whatever questionable things are on the internet are now inside LLMs. And so by ensuring that you're managing your data, putting it in a small language model, a data vault, that's separate from what's on the internet. So think about if you have a portal at work where the data in that portal has been vetted, certified, it's accurate. If you pull something out there, it's going to be correct. That's what we're talking about. And we'll get into more details about what does that look like. And to Grant's point, on Thursday, what we're going to be focusing on is your use cases. So again, right, training, especially AI training, is not impactful if you don't have context by which you're using the AI to using the context by which the AI can respond to and having the right data. So we're going to take your use cases. So the session from Abdul, the session from Grant, and Nelda. What will happen is that becomes the input for our session.
Great, thank you so much. And then the second part of your session is talking about governance, and that's really important, addressing one of the most overlooked but really critical parts of the AI adoption, the legal mistakes that people make when using AI, both personally and professionally. Her session will walk through the most common legal missteps individuals and organizations make when using AI tools. One thing, Stephanie, you brought up was relying so much on what the internet is bringing in. And we know the internet has mistakes and misinformation. So if that's what's feeding your LLM, then you're being fed that information. And that's part of the output that you're going to get. Often unintentionally, this information is used, but it is included in how your content is created, shared, reused, and relied upon without fully understanding those legal implications. So what she'll do is she'll break down where people unknowingly expose themselves or their organizations to risk, how people and professionals AI use can blur legal boundaries, and that's really important. And then what practical guardrails individuals should have in place before these type of problems arise. This is not going to be about legal theory. It's not going to be scare tactics. It's really about real world awareness, helping people understand how to use AI confidently, responsibly, and with clarity around their ownership, liability, and professional accountability. By the end of the session, attendees will have a clearer understanding of what not to do when using AI, how to avoid common legal pitfalls, and how to protect themselves and their organizations while still using AI effectively. That's going to be session 4. We are so excited about this. We are really convinced that this is going to be a game changer for individuals who are really trying to figure out How can I make AI work for me instead of me spending all this time trying to learn how to work through and navigate through AI? So, Grant, I'm going to toss this ball back to you to help us wrap up this great session.
Well, I want to thank everybody for participating with us. I want all of you to really think hard about your AI journey and what you feel you can gain as value, as we just took you with an inside look at the ICABA AI Accelerator. 4 experts, 4 transformations, and a system built not just to teach you AI, but to help you to lead with it. And so registration will now be open. Seats are limited. So keep in touch with us. Make sure that you are outcomes driven. And I want to see you as a student inside this ICABA Accelerator. This isn't about learning tools. It's about building authority. So let's go.
All right, everyone. Well, welcome to the February. Can we believe it, guys? It is almost the middle of February 2026. Welcome to the February 11th, 2026 version of ICABA Biz Connect, where we elevate your business success. We are so excited that you are here with us today. And I don't know if I'm more excited about you guys being here. I'm more excited about having Mr. Grant McGaw with us today. You know, Grant McGaw is a world traveler, global entrepreneur extraordinaire. He is a marketing expert, branding superstar. Matter of fact, the global guru people, they made him the 24th leading guru in branding last year. And they said, you know what? I think you are doing even better in 2026. He moved all the way up to number 8. He has the Follow the Brand podcast, which he's been doing. How many years, Grant? Is it 5, 6, 7? I don't know. How long?
2020. So, yeah.
Okay, 6 years. Okay, 6 years with the Follow the Brand podcast. And he was on TV covering things for Our TV. He is a part of the ICABA AI Accelerator Group. He has launched a AI program in his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. He is broadcasting and doing things in the financial services sector down in the Virgin Islands. And he comes back to South Florida every now and then to say hello to his friends and make sure that we're all still doing well. So, folks, our ICABA member and just good friend, wonderful guy, Mr. Grant McGaw is our first and our keynote speaker today. And so I am just pleased and happy to have him here with us. And so I just want to let everyone know as we get started how we do this. And so with the ICABA Biz Connect, our objective is to get you connected to the relationships, information, and opportunities that will help you to elevate your business success. We're not going to tell you everything that you need to know about any topic that we're talking about today, but we're going to tell you who you need to know. We're going to connect you to who you need to know. And then we're going to encourage you to collaborate with them, because you collaborate to elevate. And that is part of the ICABA motto. And so that's what this is really all about, getting you connected to the relationships, information, opportunities in order to elevate your business success. So without any further ado, my good friend, Mr. Grant McGaw. All right, folks, let's give a round of applause for Grant. I'm just so excited to have him here with us today. All right, my brother. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, good morning, everybody, especially out there in sunny South Florida. I think it's back to normal out there from a temperature perspective. I've been hearing that it's been a little bit nippy. You guys might have been, 70 degrees here. I brought a little Miami heat up here, but I heard it was like 30, 40 degrees. You got all kinds of lizards and things falling out the tree. Everybody knows about that, and that might not be a bad thing all the way around. But it's good to be here. I want to be able to share with you how I got all those accolades and awards. And it's not all about accolades and awards. It's about how do you monetize your brand? How do you go from, I want to make content, I want to do certain things, and I want to get to a point where I'm branding my business. So when you think of me, think of personal branding, but also why do I do that? I do it for business development. I do that for investment banking opportunities. There's a purpose behind personal branding, and that falls into the lines of career development and business development. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to try to make this as interactive as possible so everybody can get a good feel. And then we're going to do some Q&A. So it's not just me speaking about these things. It's about all of us coming together as family and having an opportunity to grow in the areas that we need to. So what do? I help leaders build bankable brands and put AI to work so that their reputation is not left to chance. And I know Jerome just shared a lot of kind words about my background and the recognition, and I appreciate that. But this morning, I don't want to earn your attention with my resume. I want to earn it with the question. And this question is, if tomorrow, talking about tomorrow, which is Thursday, every social media platform just shut down, would your brand still exist, or would it disappear? I want you to think about that. What would happen right now? LinkedIn's gone, Facebook's gone, Instagram is gone. All these social media platforms are just gone. What does that look like? And if that hits you right in the chest just a little bit, you are exactly where you need to be. Meaning, in the next few minutes, we're going to talk about how to build a winning, bankable brand and how to own and protect the content that powers it. How to use AI as your overqualified intern, and how to turn all of that into income, not just impressions. So as we think through this, I want you to really, really lean in. Most people think a brand is a logo. They think it is a website or a cute tagline that somebody probably created on Canva, but that's not a brand. That is packaging, right? That's how you make it visible, but that's not the brand. Here's how I define a winning brand. A winning brand is clear, it is consistent, and it's commercial. Clear means people can explain what you do in one sentence. Very important, right? If they need 3 paragraphs, or if you need 3 paragraphs to introduce yourself or the work that you do, you may not be as clear as you think. Then it has to be consistent, meaning that you show up with the same story, you show up with the same promise, you show up with the same energy where people can find you online, on stage, and in person. And commercial means that your brand has a business model, not just a vibe. That, likes are nice, comments, shares, those things are nice, but revenue, I think we can agree, revenue is better. So I tell my clients all the time, telepathy is not a strategy. The market cannot buy what it cannot explain. So let's test our clarity right now. I think in the chat, I want you to drop this in the chat. I'm going to actually, maybe I'll put this in, or you can just listen to what I'm saying. I want you to think through this sentence and put your own brand into it. And what I'm saying is, I help who, like in parentheses, achieve what result, and without whatever pain that your business solves. Can you put that into a sentence? I'm going to give you, like 30 seconds to really look at this. And this is interactive. Whoever wants to be, bold enough, put this into the chat and answer this question. I help who achieve what without, or what big problem that you solve. I think that's very, very important to understand this, because when I opened up, I gave you exactly what I do. I help leaders build bankable brands and put AI to work so that their reputation isn't left to chance. That is my one sentence. Who wants to be bold? put in their sentence and really state this and make it clear, make it consistent, and see that if it's commercial. All right. Do we get some bold people out here? Do I see anything out here? Oh, look at this. Look at this. I help, and this is Stephanie. She says, I help overwhelmed business owners with branding, marketing, and content creation so they can show up authentically online and attract more qualified customers. All right. She gets the award of the day. I mean, she's bold enough to state exactly what her business is about. But I challenge all of you to do the same thing, because that one sentence is the seed of your brand. If you can't say it, you can't sell it. And if they can't repeat it, they can't refer you. That is your audience. Those are your clients. Those are your customers, right? So remember what I said. I help leaders turn who they are into a brand that the world pays attention to. So I gave you two sentences, right? So you can play with these things, but it's going to give you clarity about where you're at. Everything I build, everything that you see that I do online. How did I go on Global Gurus to number 24 to number 8? I'm also on Thinkers 360. As I think right now, I'm number 2 in their world. They got about 100 million people that they follow in personal branding. That's because everything I build flows from that one line in what I'm doing, right? So let me tell you why this matters so much to me. I spent nearly 30 years in healthcare technology, building systems, managing teams, and climbing the corporate ladder. And on paper, I would say that looked pretty good. But then my father is very strong, proud man. He's living in Miami. He died from a preventable medical error. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong assumptions. The system didn't really see him. He was just another chart in the stack. And that broke something within myself. And it also built something very new. And I realized that when you are invisible in a system, you're vulnerable in that system. And that's true in healthcare, and it's true also in business. And for Black and brown entrepreneurs and leaders, we've seen this our whole lives. Our ideas are launched without us. Our culture is monetized by everybody else but us. And that's why I say this. Your content is not just post. Your content is capital. It's a financial instrument. And every article, every podcast, every talk that I have is a digital asset that can open a door, it can attract a client, or it can justify a premium price, a much higher fee. So let me give you 3 simple rules that I live by very quickly. And that is rule number 1, create assets, not just posts. Before you hit publish, ask yourself, what asset am I building with this? Is this a piece of a keynote? Is it a lead magnet, a case study, or a chapter of your future book? Number 2, own your masters, meaning the things that you create. Social media is rented land. Your content vault is what I want you to have, want you to build from. Your drive, your website, your email list, that's owned land. It's something that you own. And if it's worth posting, it's worth saving with your name on it. And then number 3, protect the IP, your intellectual property. Put your brand on your decks and your downloads. Use simple terms on your site. When something starts to take off, it starts to go viral, that signals that you need to protect it. Mine is trademark. So my Brave framework is a trademark. Follow the brand is trademark, right? And I call this is your
Grant,
of work library. Yes.
Hey, Grant,
yes.
forgive me for interrupting you, but your slides weren't moving. So I wanted to make sure you knew that.
Okay, no problem. I'm getting there.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I'm getting there. So I'm where I need to be. I'm where I need to be.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Just want to be sure.
No, I'm where I need to be. And I
Okay.
want
Good deal.
to make sure people are listening, because when you go to my website, you go to my podcast, and I have over 250 different episodes of that. That's my proof of work library. And when you know how to talk to the machine, meaning the algorithms, the LinkedIn, the social media, they're looking for this type of proof of work so they can then elevate you. Google becomes my friend. So when you've got prospects that say, who are you? Why are you? You don't have to argue. You have a body of work. Here are my receipts about what I do. I'm just not talking about it. Here's my proof of what I'm talking about. This is the transformation that I deliver. And that's how a brand, remember this, this is how a brand becomes bankable. And for us, especially in settings like we are in right now, we're being seen and being paid don't always go together. Brand ownership is not just the strategy, it is how you protect yourself, right? Because you're creating intellectual property, you're creating an asset. That's how it becomes bankable. So as we shift some gears, right, we talk about AI, artificial intelligence. Remember, I've been in technology 30 years. Intelligence or artificial AI, IT, it's a digital platform. And right now, I see people kind of in two camps. One camp, they're very afraid of it. AI is coming for my job. The other camp, they're hypnotized by it. AI is going to fix everything. And in my stance, AI is not your competitor. It is your overqualified intern who works 24 hours a day and never takes a vacation. So its job is not to replace your genius. Its job is to amplify your genius. And I use one simple filter for every tool, every workflow. I ask this: does this help me create assets that I just talked about? Does it save time? Or does it make money? Because if the answer is no, it is entertainment. It is infotainment. It's not a strategy, right? So I want to give you 2 AI workflows that you can work from. You can use this week, right, when it comes to these types of things. Number 1, voice to thought leadership. The best thought leadership usually doesn't start on the keyboard. It starts with your point of view. It starts with your conviction, right? So here's the play. This is what I would like you to do. This is very simple. I want you to open your phone. You don't have to do it now, but open your phone at some point in time today. Open your phone and record a 5-minute voice note answering this question. What do I believe about my industry that most people get wrong? I think all of you can probably attest to something like this. What do I believe about my industry that most people get wrong? And I want you to record yourself and speak about this for 5 minutes. Secondly, I want you to transcribe it and drop it, the text that comes out of that video or that audio, into an AI, whatever your Descript, however you want to convert it to a text file. Then step 3, you want to then put it into your AI, whether it's ChatGPT, it's Claude, Perplexity, it doesn't matter. But ask your AI to turn it into 3 things. That is a blog or a bold LinkedIn post. You can turn it into a short email. You can then have, now you have, remember what I said, a post, a blog, or an email. Now you have 3 talking points from that video, right? And then that one conviction, that one point of view, now becomes 3 high-value assets. Now you're not just posting. You are publishing a point of view. And that is the difference between noise and leadership, right? Now you've got a process that you're working from, right? Number 2 is the workflow. This is your case study machine. Money flows from evidence, right? Take one client, just one, that was a winnable situation for you, and give your AI 4 simple inputs from that good client relationship or that win that you got, right? That is, who was the client, the problem that they had, what you did, and the measurable result, right? Very, very important that you do this. Then I want you to ask the AI to build a one-page case study from that information. Also a short story, social post from that information, and then a 3-slide mini deck, like a little carousel from that information. Now that one project becomes an authority asset for you. It becomes a seat or suite of receipts that you can send before any sales call, any showcasing your proposals, or any drip campaign that you have with your content. This is how you make your AI a teammate and not a toy. Now it has a specific role in your enterprise that you're doing. So if your content is capital and your AI is your intern, how do you turn it now into capital? And that is, you got to move from just client to consulting. You're going to start building authority, and that authority now becomes your engine for revenue. So every strong piece of content should quietly answer this: what do I help? Here's how I help you, and this is how I start. These are all the things that you need to move forward. I'm going to leave the rest of this up to, we got some Q&A that we're going to do right now. We can kind of frame some of this other information, but it's very, very important not to just think about followers measure your reach, but partnerships measure your relevance, and revenue measures your reality. So I'm going to end there. I'm going to bring it back to Hutch, and we're going to get into a little Q&A, and we can kind of go from there.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you, Grant. And as always, man, you just come with such insight and knowledge, and much appreciated. So anyone that has any questions, please go ahead and raise your hand, or just jump right in, and we're gonna get you started. Also, while you're thinking about your questions, I want to let you know there's a couple of things that are going to be coming up, and so I want you to get ready. And so we're going to do a quick, if you will, I like to call speed intros with iKaba, introducing ourselves. Now, you have to stay with the program. And some of you who've done this for me before, I see Jackie, she's already smiling because she knows what's coming. All right, so your name, title, position, if you will, of what your company is. So your name, your position, your company, and where you're from. Okay, you don't get to do your elevator pitch, and you don't have to say hi to everybody. Just name, position, company, and where you're from. And that means we can get everybody introduced, and we can get through this pretty quickly, because remember, this is really about getting connected. We're also going to do something else a little different today. We're going to put everybody into breakout rooms in about after we finish this Q&A, and for you to get a chance to meet each other. So I'm going to break everybody into 4 different breakout rooms, and I want you guys to, like, I know I've seen several of you who have opportunities. We have event designers, we have brand strategists, we have journalists on here, we got people who are newsworthy stories, we've got people who handle certifications, we have CPAs, we've got a lot of different talent here. And so, this is going to give you a chance, after you've heard from everybody, who's here, that when you get into the room, when you look around, it'll give you a chance to say, hey, I'd like to maybe talk with you a little bit more, spend some time, or I'd like to introduce myself so that you can get to know me, and maybe we can do some business. All right. So any questions for Grant that we have here? I just wanted to let you know that's coming, and we'll do the speed intros following the Q&A here. Any questions for Grant, for anyone? So Grant, let me ask you this, because I know folks always, you got to kind of, someone has to ask the first question. So I'm going to go ahead and post that up. Okay. And so as a content creator, someone who is really focused on building his brand and have done a great job with that, helping other people to build their brands as well. Talk a little bit how you become influential and convert that influence into income.
As I look through the journey, number one, it doesn't happen overnight. I would go back to when I started to create intellectual property, my Brave framework. I had to give it a name. What is this process that I'm going through that I can now make it so that it is bankable, right? It becomes my IP. Once I learned that it is an asset, and because of my work in investment banking, you have to have something that someone else is willing to buy, that they see that as valuable and it's something that's transferable. Again, you're not just making content to make content. I'm making content for a purpose, and that purpose is business development. And what am I selling at the end of the day is my expertise. My expertise is showing people how to operate in the digital world. Once I understood that this is a need, when people are coming back to me, you got to look at your audience. What are they asking you to do? What do people come to you for? They come to you for a reason. Why do they pick up the phone? I'm going to call Jackie because Jackie can help me with these stories. Once you understand how other people see you, that is the brand. It's not what I say about myself. My brand lives in the minds of others. That is the brand. That is where the business lies. I run the business. The brand is in the mind of other people. Once I understood that, I needed to create content that builds that brand within the mind of the market that I'm looking to influence. And I coined that with the Brave framework, right? Brave is a acronym, right? So it means brand identity. It means resilience. It means authenticity. It means visibility and execution. And I interchange all those things to help me to create opportunities for the people that come to me. I get a lot of corporate executives that come to me to say, Grant, how can you make my brand more visible and applicable in what I'm trying to influence? And not because they become a social media darling. That's not the point. The point is, how do they get the next promotion? How do they become visible in the minds of the people they're looking to influence? That is what I help you to do. So I'm not going to help you get 1 million followers. That's not it. I'm going to help you to become visible with your C-suite executives, with stakeholders, with the board, things of that nature, and that's going to make you impactful.
All right, Jackie has a question for you.
Hey, I was looking for the unmute for some reason. Okay, so the thing I wanted more so if you could direct people on what you do about, you have a lot of awards intentionally. So can you talk about presenting yourself as an expert through those brands, through those awards that you've received, because some of them you've applied for, some of them you had something to do with. So how do you tell people to help them understand the part of your brand is that expertise? So the more people understand that you're the expert.
Yeah, so how do you help people know that? Yeah, go ahead. Great question.
The biggest thing is that most people, everybody here has some kind of expertise, so you wouldn't be doing what you do. The problem is not a lot of people know about exactly what it is that you do. So to your point, the first stage is that you're going to have to be intentional of putting yourself out there. That's what I call about authority assets. Start utilizing social media platforms are fantastic if you know how to use them correctly, right? To amplify the expertise that is you. You want to become the go-to person for this or that. Once they see you as that, now you can begin to amplify it even more. Yes, intentionally. I mean, in the very beginning, I remember sending my resume and sending my expertise out to media outlets and things like that so they can pick up my story. But then over time, this is the beautiful thing. It starts to shift. People start to reach out to you. That's when you know your brand has made that leap. People are coming to you, Grant, I want to be on your show. Grant, I want to write an article about you. Grant, I want to do this or that. Like global gurus, I never even heard of them. This is a beautiful thing. I never even heard of them. They're looking at me and they're saying, hey, Grant, we think you are a person of substance. Thinkers 360, the same type of thing. I had not heard of these organizations, but they began to pick up my content and say, hey, this guy is good. But I go back to what I said earlier about having a library of information. I curated all of my talks from all of my podcasts, and they made sure my guests like yourself, are on my platform, and they bring their audience to my audience, and then you grow exponentially.
Fantastic, Grant. I really appreciate that.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius is coming. Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.